Okay, I'm back with just a cheap dollar store container. Had some of the kids' art supplies in there. I came across my big Forstner bit before I found my hole saws, so that's what I'm going with. Just plug this thing in. And instead of putting a piece of pipe in, I'm just going to use this from the Shop Vac. So that should work fine. Since it's some cheap plastic, make sure you throw your goggles on. Oh, look at that. Did make a little crack, but on the right part. That was the biggest bit I had, so. So, without anything else, that would seal pretty decently. Use a little tape if you wanted to use epoxy. I think that's overkill if you're only doing your own house. A little silicone, whatever works for you. Now I'm going to do another hole here for the air line to go through. The tricky part with that is I'm going to want to get a grommet in there to go around the air hose. So I should pick up the air hose first. Just make sure I've got the right outside diameter before I mess around too much with it. But I am just going to throw a pilot hole in there so I know where it's. Now, this being off center is fine, but the airline, you're going to want that fairly centered so you're not dragging it in the duct one way or another. I'm just going to eyeball it. So that's where the airline will go through. So a few minutes, some junk I had laying around the house, a drill, some bits, and a Dremel. Pretty simple to get what you need for doing some duct cleaning. And I mean, for some of you, this could turn into a little side hustle. Make a better quality one than I've got. Get a portable compressor, a good Shop Vac with some HEPA filters, and if you buy the proper bits or make them yourself, you can get into a business like that. And even if you're just throwing up some flyers you printed out yourself in your neighborhood mailboxes, good little side hustle. I'm just looking to do mine because it's been far too long. I've got dogs, I've got kids. I may blank out some of the stuff that comes out when I'm doing the cleaning video. That might be a little embarrassing. But yeah, be back once I picked up the air hose this afternoon. The grommet, again, the grommet isn't a must. It's a nice to have. I'm sure I can get by with something else, even if I just put a piece of tubing that was slightly bigger than the air hose and then taped it down. At least it gives something. Most of it's going to get sucked up by the vacuum anyways. And if you can, you want to have the furnace fan going, and that's also going to help blow things out. You'll want it off when you're doing your cold air returns though, because otherwise it's going to be sucking it into the furnace. And change your filter when you get this done as well. Okay, well, I'll be back once I pick up the supplies, finish this, and the next video is going to be on the weekend, cleaning the ducts. See you in a bit. All right, well, I'm back from the store. I got this polyester braided hose, so it should slide quite nicely. Got a pack of grommets, and then all the air fittings I'll need for that. as I was heading to the store, I walked past a bunch of stuff I was throwing out, and there was this foam packaging material that came in a cabinet, packing in a cabinet that I'd bought. And I realized that that is a great material for sealing this down to the floor. I was going to use some weather stripping. Instead, I'm going to use some hot glue and this packing material. Get that cut out. I'm a big fan of using what you've got around. Not only does it save a bunch of money, but I don't know about you guys, depending on how old you are. When I was a kid, it was, when they first came out with it, it was reduce, reuse, recycle. Well, we have definitely not reduced. Most people don't reuse. We jump right to recycle, and it doesn't end up being all that good for the environment. Now, I'm not going to get on some rant about environmentalism. Trust me, that is not me. But you can save yourself a couple of bucks and keep some stuff with the landfill. Why not? Not that this is keeping a whole lot out, but other projects I do. There's guys out there who can build amazing stuff out of garbage. And since this is probably not going to stick all that well, I'm going to drill a bunch of small holes in the edge of this so the glue can squish through. And I'm hoping that will give me a better bond. I'll leave about, let's see, half an inch to an inch will be more than enough. And I had to buy a sorted pack of grommets, unfortunately. But that should work just fine for me. And I will use this step bit, probably the easiest way to drill it out. Give yourself a general idea of where to stop. If you drill the hole too big, throw some tape over it. You'll be fine for quick home use. Now, normally you wouldn't have an end on the hose. You'd fit the grommet by putting, what I use is I put a small piece of string around there, press it, and then I get the string, I get the string through first and pull on it, twist the string around, and it will come through. But the end, it won't let me do that. I'd have to cut a bunch of this stuff off, and I don't want to mess with the brand new air hose. So I'm going to do it like this. And now I'm going to mess with the brand new air hose. Okay, that actually should be okay. There we go. Hello, I'm here. All right, well, I'm just gonna throw a dot of hot glue here. Gonna get the rubber nice and melted first with the tip of the gun. Help that glue melt into the rubber. could use some silicone, you could use tape. To be honest, I didn't really need anything. I had the hot glue gun out, so might as well. Okay, watch which cord you're pulling on. Good advice. See, this channel's full of good advice. Don't do stupid stuff. See, more great advice. What would you do without me, guys? All right, well, I'm just gonna throw a dot of hot glue here. Gonna get the rubber nice and melted first with the tip of the gun. Help that glue melt into the rubber. Could use some silicone, you could use tape. To be honest, I didn't really need anything. I had the hot glue gun out, so might as well. Again, always use your Teflon tape. I use the cheap stuff for air fittings. If it does leak, it's not the end of the world. So this will go over the duct. Try that again. This will go over the duct. Shop Vac attachment will go into there. Shop Vac will attach compressed air in to this ball, and should be knocking a lot of stuff loose at 90, 100 psi around there. And if my old compressor isn't enough to knock out all the dust, well, then I'm going to put together my new compressor. I'll use the old tank. I've got a different head, different motor, so it's just going to be a fairly simple swap, but that should get me going. All right, so that's it for now. So some foam packing that was garbage, hot glue, a dollar store container, airline grommet, foosball. There's not a whole lot to this build, but hopefully it should do exactly what I need it to do. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and check back for how this actually works cleaning ducts. Thanks for watching.